Good evening, I'm Leonardo Puglisi. This is 6 News. Tonight, houses destroyed as a wild storm ripped through Victoria, residents comparing the dangerous weather to a tornado. Also, the Chinese embassy in Canberra labels the coronavirus inquiry a joke, even with the WHO now backing an investigation. Mixed emotions from students and teachers ahead of Victoria's return to school, but what restrictions will be in place? A driver re-arrested after 14 people were injured in this crash. And you've shared with us your last normal photos, although it's still unclear when normality will return. 6 News starts now. First tonight, residents west of Geelong have described a horror storm that lashed Victoria and South Australia to a tornado. Around 50 homes were significantly damaged, with at least 100 roofs needing repairing by the SES crew, along with garage doors and smashed car windscreens. One woman even suffering minor injuries. It comes as more wet weather lashes the east coast. We'll have the full forecast later in the bulletin. The Chinese embassy in Canberra has labelled Australia's coronavirus inquiry win as a joke, even with more than 120 other countries now backing that global investigation. It comes as more claims that coronavirus originated in a Wuhan lab and that China covered up the amount of cases they have. And China has now slapped an 80% tax on our barley following tariffs earlier in the week on Australian beef. The trade tensions began to escalate in April when our government called for that independent probe into the origins of COVID-19. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the hero diver who freed a humpback whale from the Gold Coast. He's now facing fines for interfering with shark control equipment. We asked some of you whether you believe he should be fined. Some of the comments included from ASR is the best. He said no. Jono also said no, and Sporty Nelson says no, he should not. So some strong opinions about that topic there. And to tonight's viewer poll, and we're asking Victorian teachers and students, are you excited to go back to school? On Instagram, probably our closest result yet. 48% of you saying you're excited, 52% of you saying no way. Some of the feedback coming into our Instagram page right now includes Jake, who says he goes to school in South Australia. He says many of us are feeling safe as we have 0 cases. Online learning is a very difficult task for many people due to internet, understanding of those tasks, etc. Hopefully Australia can get the cases down so we can all feel safe at school and work. Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. Josh says catching public transport can still be a bit worrying at this time when going to school. A good point there. And Jono says I'm in between, and he is referring to that question, are you excited to return to school? Don't forget to have your say on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages by using the hashtag 6NewsAU. 14 people, including the driver, have been injured after an SUV ploughed into a store in southwest Sydney, and a warning, what you're about to see may be distressing. Footage taken at the scene shows that maroon SUV pushing the back of a white car in front at an intersection before swerving and driving directly into a hijab house. More vision taken inside shows the extent of the damage, with all victims treated at the scene before some were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There have been reports that the driver had a medical episode just moments before the crash. The 51-year-old is now expected to be charged by New South Wales Police after being re-arrested Friday afternoon. And staying in Sydney, a car has been severely damaged after witnesses say a truck reversed into it. This all happened in Walker Street, North Sydney, with the Mazda driver reportedly yelling at that truck driver to stop, although as you can see from these exclusive photos, he did not. It's unclear how much the damage bill was or if any charges were laid. Donald Trump has left some reporters baffled after he spoke about his results following his COVID-19 test. Take a look.
I think it's another day. I had a 2-week regimen of hydroxychloroquine, and I've taken it, I think, just about 2 weeks. I think it's another day. So, and I'm still here. I'm still here. And I tested very positively in a in another sense. So this morning, yeah, I tested positively toward negative, right? So, no, I tested perfectly this morning. Meaning I tested negative.
Yeah, that's baffling. The US currently has over 1.6 million confirmed coronavirus cases and nearly 100,000 deaths. To tomorrow's forecast, Darwin cloudy, getting to a top of 29 tomorrow. In Brisbane, 9 overnight, 23 tomorrow. Sydney, rain tomorrow, 16 degrees, with similar conditions on Tuesday. In Canberra, 13 tomorrow, 16 on Tuesday. Melbourne, a top of 15, also cloudy. Hobart, 11 degrees, warming up slightly later in the week. And Adelaide cloudy, a top of 14. And Perth, 17 tomorrow, with light rain and cloudy on Tuesday. Before we go tonight, we put a call out last week asking for your last normal photos taken before the pandemic. We got lots of responses. Some of our favourites include this one from Jake via our Twitter page, 6NewsAU. He said it was the last time before he had the chance to bike ride and hang out together with friends before those coronavirus restrictions. That was taken in Outer Harbour in South Australia. And this one from our very own Jack Hahn, hanging out with some of his mates there. So those are some of your last normal photos. Keep sending them in and we might show them here on 6 News. And that is 6 News for this Sunday evening. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at 6NewsAU. For all our viewers watching via Melfeed video, stick around because up next is a double of harmony and diversity. I'm Leonardo Puglisi. Thanks for your company. Good night.